All right, next question. Why does it take so long for lower end graphics cards to be produced or even announced? Been waiting for the RTX 3050 to replace my 3-year-old GT 1030. I think we used to see a much closer cadence between the high end and the low end products, but then they realized over
Yeah,
time that they want to see people buy high end products as much as possible, so they want to push those first. And once that market's saturated, people, all their FOMO has been satisfied, and people have rushed out to buy the high end products that they don't necessarily need. Then they release the next lower product and do that again with a whole new market. And then when that's done, they do it
yeah.
again and again and again. As opposed to in previous years, where you used to see much more of a stack launch all at once, and then people would just rush for like the $200 or $300 products. These days, it's all about the marketing and trying to drive you up the high end and trying to make you feel like, yeah, oh, you spent $500 last year. Well, you need to spend $800 this year. So that's
Mhm.
why I think we start to see these sort of longer cadences between release. It doesn't. There's nothing stopping them from releasing an RTX 3050 right now. I mean, maybe there'll be some volume issues for memory and substrates in the current situation, but in normal times,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no issue whatsoever. Like they could launch it first if they wanted to. It's all about the
I mean,
marketing.
they could launch it. Yeah, they could launch it first if they wanted to, but for reasons that you've touched on and other obvious reasons, you lead with your best foot forward, your flagship product, or very near to your flagship product. Maybe sometimes for marketing purposes, it makes sense to leave a bit more in reserve. But I think there's also logistical reasons there as well. Even in the past, we've never seen them just, even when there was, say, I don't know, 5 GPUs that made up a family, they never just dumped them all out at once. You got
Yeah,
at
that's true.
most two, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to recall last time there was sort of three. But yeah, it's usually two together, and then there'll be a trickle on sort of thing where you get one every month. And I think we would have seen that even this time. There's obviously more GPUs typically in a family that make up a GPU family, and you might see them released over a 6 month period. But
Yeah, and,
for reasons that
and there are some aspects of these cards as well that a lot of the time they're designed for new technologies. Using the new
mm,
GDDR memory and using the new process nodes, which yeah, you might be able to sell those products at a high end price at the beginning. You still want to wait for releasing your mid range cards when the yields are a little bit better on the process technology, or the wafers are a little bit cheaper, or the memory's a little bit cheaper. So then you can make that lower end card be in the affordable price point that you want it to be in, which might not be as possible straight at launch when the first month's shipment of GDDR6X memory is like way more expensive than it would be in the following month. So there's all those sorts of
yeah,
considerations as well.
there's that's right. There's heaps of reasons. As I was saying, logistical stuff, like it's probably pretty hard for an AIB to launch 6, 7 new graphics cards at once, ship all of those,
Yep.
get all the packaging and everything. And also, I would imagine there'd be, take Pascal, for example, there would have been significantly more GTX 1060s in warehouses and at retail stores sitting there opposed to, like, I don't know, 1080s and 1080 Ti's. So by filtering down, it gives them a chance to move that inventory before the next
Yep.
wave of mainstream cards, for example, come in. So anyway, a whole heap of reasons there. Probably covered that one pretty well, hopefully.